Hello, Math 133 students. I've received a request for help for this question, which is 3.2.11. Right there, you can see it at the top, and it should show up that way in your homework. It might not be the 11th question, but you should be able to realize that that's the number it is if you look up at the top menu. All right, so let's see. I'm going to view an example for this problem. So I'm going to do the example problem, which is basically the same problem with different numbers. So that way you guys can all see how to do it. Don't forget that there's also the Help Me Solve This feature, the View an Example. And if ever you want to ask for questions, you can always click the Get More Help and view Ask My Instructor. All right, so I have an insurance company crashed 4 cars in succession at 5 miles per hour. The cost of repair for each of the 4 crashes was those 4 numbers. Compute the range, sample variance, and sample standard deviation cost of repair. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to click the little icon that's after the data and to open it in StatCrunch. You can also open it in Excel if you so desire. So that'll open a new window in StatCrunch, and it has the 4 numbers that you need right there. And so I have to remind myself what we need to see. So to get things like the standard deviation and the variance, we go to Stat, Summary Stat, Columns. We would select the variable we want, which is variable 1. And then we'll go down here and we'll pick the things that it's asking for. So for example, it wants the range. Oh, and sorry, I have to go back and look at it because I can't remember. Range, variance, and standard deviation. Oh, okay, so we can do this. So let me go back to my StatCrunch. So the way to tell StatCrunch is to find the range is you click on range. So click on the variable and the range. And then what I want to do is I want the standard deviation and the variance. But when I click on each one of them, it makes the other one disappear. So the way to fix that is to kind of use your scroll menu here and say I want the range. And then there's standard deviation right there. The sample standard deviation is the one that says STD-DEV. That's the sample standard deviation. The population standard deviation is down at the bottom. It's the unadjusted one. But that's not what they wanted for this one anyway. All right, so if I hit my control button and hold it down, on a Mac computer it would be the command button, but on a PC it's the control button. So I'm holding my control button down, CTRL button down, and then I click standard deviation. There it is, and now it's got both of them in the list. Now I lift up on my control button because I don't need it pressed down right now, and I'm going to scroll, and there's the variance right there. So if I hold my control button down and click on variance, the control button is depressed this whole time. I'm just keep pressing it down. And then I click variance, and there it is. And now I can lift off on my control button, and the way we have it. So it will find the range, the standard deviation, and the variance for us. So then I say compute, and there are the values. 237, 106.5, and 11347. Now that's found with technology, not by hand. So if I look at this view an example bit, I bet you they were finding it by hand. Yes, they are. So you can ignore all of that stuff, right? Because what they're doing when they do all of this stuff is they're showing how to do it all by hand. But we don't need to do it by hand. We're going to do it with a computer, and sure enough, we got 1137, or 11,347, excuse me. 11,347, that was our variance right here, 11,347. So don't pay any attention to the by hand instructions. They have to do that because, you know, by hand is the most fundamental, and they can't show all the different technologies. Oh, and they were all there. I don't know if you saw that. The standard deviation was at the very end. So that's how you would find the range, the standard deviation, and the variance. Right? They might ask for they might ask for them in a different order, but whichever order they ask for them in, you just give it to them right out of StatCrunch. I hope that helps.